Hey growers, what's up? It's Lucas, and you guys love to watch my harvest videos. And a lot of you were wondering what specific varieties of vegetables was I growing in Garden Harvest Compilation 2. So I thought it'd be a great time to go back to last year's garden and take a look at what varieties I did grow and why I grew them. But before we continue, be sure to smack that like button because it really helps my plants grow a lot better. So if you guys have watched any of my previous videos, you know that I love to grow peppers and tomatoes, and that's pretty much all I grew in last year's garden. Last year I grew two different varieties of bell peppers. One was a red one and the other was yellow. Now the red variety was called X3R Red Night and the yellow variety was called Sweet Sunrise. I chose these varieties in particular because they're supposed to be high yielding and they're also supposed to yield early. And for me, I live in a really cool climate. I live in Canada, and it's important that I get the earliest harvests possible. Both of these varieties are hybrids, which means that they were made by crossing a couple different varieties. And this is just to ensure that you're getting the ideal traits of the pepper you're looking for. So you're getting the healthiest, most productive plant, and you're also getting the fruit that looks the best. One of the main reasons I grow vegetables is for the aesthetic value they provide. So I want my vegetables to look uniform and nicely shaped. Now a counter argument to this is that heirlooms are really cool and they have cool colors and shapes, and yes, this is true. And I do love to grow heirlooms as well. X3R Red Night was a pretty heavy cropper and I got lots of really nice uniform fruits, but I found that Sweet Sunrise was all right, but it didn't produce as well as I would like. So I'm gonna give them both another shot this year just to see if they're gonna do better than last year. As far as flavor goes, they both taste like typical bell peppers, and personally, I'm not a huge fan of actually eating bell peppers, but they are great in omelets and salads. Hey, I got a really bad joke for you. What's a telephone company's favorite type of pepper? Bell. I know I'm not funny, okay? I know. No garden is complete without tomatoes, and last year I grew a variety that is really awesome, and it's called Big Beef. It is a red hybrid beefsteak variety, and it produces these massive tomatoes. If you go check out my harvest video, you'll not only see the sheer size of these tomatoes, but also the amount I got. I get huge production off these Big Beef plants, and that's one of the major reasons I continue to grow them every year. The Big Beef is more of a vining type of tomato plant, so it means it grows up instead of out like determinate bush tomatoes. So that's really great if you have a small space garden like me, where I need to fit the maximum amount of plants in a small space. One of the ways I like to compare determinate and indeterminate tomato varieties is with buildings. Indeterminate tomatoes are like those high-rise skyscrapers you see in New York or Toronto. Vertical space is basically unlimited. You can have a super tall tower and you can house like 1,000 people. And determinates are more like big single-family houses where they take up a lot of horizontal space. And as you know, the amount of horizontal space in this world is definitely not unlimited. So again, having those vertical tomato plants, those indeterminates, is so great for having a small space garden like me, and I love to grow beefsteaks, so that's why I choose Big Beef. Cherry tomatoes are also super cool to grow, especially if you like eating the tomatoes fresh off the vines or putting them in salads. First off, we have Sun Gold. This is an extremely popular variety. If you've grown tomatoes before, you've probably heard of Sun Gold or grown it yourself. And the main reason people grow this variety is because it's so darn sweet. It's like eating candy. It's got a citrusy, sweet flavor that's just like no other. Sun Gold, like most cherry tomato plants, is indeterminate, so it grows up vertically and it allows you to maximize your space in the garden. Last year, I think these Sun Gold plants grew to about 9 feet tall. So yeah, they're super tall, and you definitely need a support method in place if you plan on growing these Sun Golds. This variety is also a hybrid, so that means it's bred to produce really nice crops of cherry tomatoes. The plants are very disease resistant, which is great. And overall, it's just a highly recommended tomato that you should be growing in your garden. Every year, I like to try new things in the garden because that's how you grow. And last year I tried this really interesting cherry tomato variety. It's called Blueberries Tomato. And I got this variety just because it looks so cool. It's kind of a purplish color and it's just really a nifty looking variety. Unfortunately, it tastes absolutely terrible in my opinion, so I probably won't be growing it again this year. It is an heirloom variety, which means that you can save seeds and grow it again next year, and it'll produce the same types of fruits as the previous season. So if you're looking for a cherry tomato variety that looks super awesome and you don't really care about taste too much, then definitely I'd give this one a try. It's super cold and I'm freezing my hands off right now. I'm outside, it's, I don't know, probably 0 degrees, but we're talking about hot peppers, okay? Let's talk about the Carolina Reapers. This is a wicked hot variety. It used to be the world's hottest pepper. I think it's since been replaced. And this is one where it just has a really cool kind of stinger tail. It looks like it's out to get you, and it really is, because this variety is deadly. If you eat it, you'll probably have stomach cramps for the next 5 years. Maybe an exaggeration, but it's super hot. The Carolina Reaper plants get really bushy and they produce lots of peppers. But one downside to growing these super hots is that they do take a very long time to maturity. So that's the time from when you plant the seed until you harvest them. I think they take around 100 days, so that's like over 3 months you have to wait, which is a long time, but I think it's worth it because they look so awesome. Another super hot I grew this year is the ghost pepper, which is also very hot. It's not as hot as the Reaper, but it is extremely spicy, so be careful if you're going to grow that one. The ghost pepper plants are very stocky, bushy, and productive, and you'll get a lot of hot peppers. So if you want to make hot sauce, you only need a couple of these plants because you don't really need that many of these super hots to make hot sauce. So if you like pain, grow these super hots, but if not, you should try some less spicy and more enjoyable hot peppers, like the habaneros. I grew some hot paper lantern habaneros. They're not your typical habanero shape, but they look pretty cool and they're very productive. This variety produced me a massive amount of hot paper lantern peppers, and with the help of my parents, I made some hot sauce with them. They're pretty spicy, but they're more tolerable. The final variety of hot peppers I grew is the chocolate habanero. I grew this variety because it looks so cool. It's a chocolate color, so it's like you're harvesting little pieces of chocolate off the plant, which is really nifty. And again, they're more manageable. They're still very hot, but not as hot as the super hot peppers like the Reapers and the ghost peppers. All right, growers, so that's it for this video. A highlight of all the varieties I grew in last year's vegetable garden. If you haven't seen my harvest videos, go check them out. I'll put the links in the description. Also, I'll put an Amazon affiliate link down in the description box. And if you click on that link and buy anything through that link on Amazon.com, it'll give me a small commission, so that'll help me grow my channel and also grow my garden. So if you want to be helpful, definitely buy through that link. Thanks so much for watching. I have a lot planned for this season, so I hope that you stick around and be part of the journey, and I'll see you next time.